Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. If you could pick, how do you wanna die? If you ever need help, then please know that there are many qualified people who would like to help you. https://www.isp.info/resources/crisis_centers. http://www.befrienders.org. http://www.suicideprevention.org/get-help/lifeline-chat.aspects. http://www.samaritans.org/how-we-can-help-you, UK. https://www.lifeline.org.au/get-help, or. There are crisis services worldwide that are trained to provide support. They are designed to give temporary relief from feelings that are overwhelming you, and while they are unlikely to fix any underlying problems, can help you get through a tough hour/night/week. Chat services are usually available on these sites. In the US, calling 211 or going to their website is a free referral source. They have providers who will see you regardless of your ability to pay. Just as you would see a doctor when you are sick, you deserve to take care of your mental health. Happy. Best answer. Happy and in my sleep. Blowing up in my sleep. Man found dead in his bed after unexpectedly gaining 10 million subscribers on Instagram. Edit, well, this blew up staying out of bed for a while. WTF. Quickest and least painful way, and you go out with a bang. Like my uncle. He died in his mid-90s, just a few years after his wife died. He was a retired physician. He got a cancer diagnosis that he knew was fatal, but he had some time. So, he spent his remaining months touring the country, seeing his kids, grandkids and great-grandkids, his nephews and nieces, friends, etc. He had a grand old time. Then, pretty much exactly to the timetable he had estimated, he took a bad turn. He summoned his kids, who took turns talking with him at his bedside in hospice. At one point, my cousin Chris was with him as he faded in and out of consciousness. The phone rang, Chris answered and said, "No, Dad's not conscious right now. This is not a good time." But his dad perked up. "Who is that?" he asked. "Just some friends of yours," said my cousin, who handed the phone to my uncle. They exchanged a few words, then the friends arrived 20 minutes later with a couple bottles of amazing vintage wine. My cousin said, "No, Dad. You're on a lot of painkillers. Alcohol would be a very bad idea." My uncle laughed and said, "Well, what's the worst that could happen?" There was an awkward silence and then everyone started laughing. The wine was delicious and he lasted another 48 hours. That's how I want to go out. That sounds like a simply outstanding way to go. A great end to a long life. I bet he was a great man. He was a playful, relaxed soul. I'd like to get shot multiple times and be found moments later by the main character, die in their arms and set them on their vengeance arc until they have the villain at their mercy, only for them to go, "No. This isn't what Asphalt Day would have wanted." I mean, it could happen. I like this. The greatest answer to this question ever has to be from Tyrio Lester. In my own bed. At the age of 80. With a belly full of wine and a girl's mouth around my cock. Being hit by a meteor. The idea of a space rock that could have traveled millions of miles through space and only to have its journey timed up perfectly with where I am at the moment would be crazy. I mean, the odds would literally be astronomical. The epicenter of your own Tunguska, or just leave a small crater. No. Big enough to nuke the world. Don't wanna die alone after all. I want to be right beside a nuclear bomb as it detonates. You'd probably die before you could even think what that metal box thingy is. That's the point. Probably completely painless, as it would be quicker that the brain could process pain signals. Like my grandma, her heart stopped suddenly while sleeping, must have been painless. Changed my mind, I just remembered she died alone, without having anyone around for 1 week. She had 13 kids, which are my aunts and uncles, so I guess she was used to have people around. Pretty sad. I wondered. If your heart stops beating, are you still alive for a few minutes and eventually die from hypoxia or whatever it is? If awake, you'll only be so for a few seconds. Death is a process rather than a single event. It would depend how you're defining being dead, but yes, technically if your heart isn't pumping blood around, then your brain isn't getting the bits it needs, mainly oxygen, and dies from that. Death by Susu. First by the most beautiful women in all of Amajaia. Then the large women. Then the petite women. Then the large women again. The spirit is willing, but flesh is bruised and spongy. Pain-free, most of all. I hope to live a relatively long life, but not long enough to need people to change my diapers. No thank you. I have always said that. If someone has to change my diapers, I want them to give me a go-to-sleep forever pill. I am a big supporter of legal, well-regulated euthanasia. I think everyone should have the choice in when they go. Nobody should be forced to go through huge amounts of pain and indignity at the end of their lives. It is really cruel in so many cases. Right next to the detonation of a nuclear bomb. I watched a video which stated that you would die before the impulses from your sensory nerves were able to travel through your nervous system to register the pain. You would literally die and not know what happened. Pretty terrifying when you think about it. That as I'm typing this I could literally just disappear and not even know without warning. I'm sure the call out from a nearby operator, nuke inbound, as someone received their 30th kill in a row, would be warning enough tbh. Edit, thank you for the awards, kind strangers. God, well this doesn't happen too often. I knew you were dead before you did. You got up here fast. Gotta get in line before everyone else. It'll be real congested as soon as everyone files in. I wanna die as a hero saving another person from death. That would be at least a worthy death. I want to be the guy he's saving from death. I want to be that dead guy's wife. Wait. In my bed. Of natural causes. At 2500. The day you turn 2500, the day before your 2501 street birthday, or somewhere in between. Day before, why not? Unexpected headshot. Make sure it's a shotgun or rifle. Pistol shot can be survived way more easily IRC. Edit, I get it, the question says how you die. You don't have to spam me the same answer 100 times. If I survive then I'll be the courier from Fallout New Vegas. Either way it's a win-win. Riding a rocket into a black hole. That, or facing off against a house full of federal agents with a gun in each hand and a snoot full of cocaine. I mean, given absolute freedom to choose, I'm gonna go out like a boss. Being tossed specifically into a supermassive black hole would be better. You'd be able to survive the tidal forces due to the size of the black hole, only dying from lack of oxygen before having to experience spaghettification. You'd be able to watch the universe disappear around you, as well as having the unique title of only human to have been causally disconnected from the universe while alive. Yes, spaghettification sounds like one of the worst ways to die lol. But once you cross the event horizon border you will be able to look at the back of your own head and see yourself going into infinity because of how light gets so fucked up. It's like a kaleidoscope apparently. My suggestion: dose up before launching yourself and enjoy the most mind-bending trip of your life before being spaghettified. Edit, I'm gonna source this. It's a fun step-by-step of what happens when you enter, should answer a couple questions. In my sleep peaceful like. On the opposite end, definitely not from slipping in the shower on the slick floor lathered and shampooed up from hitting my head on the spigot as I fall to my demise. I read about someone who dies in a shower after slipping and hitting her head, but it wasn't blunt force, her hair clogged the drain and she drowned. I'm not an emotional person, and reading bad things, or even awful things, normally doesn't faze me, but that story got me. I would like to unread this post. Old age while asleep. Mine is old age, while hallucinating that my old cat is coming to get me to heaven. I loved that cat. People would be nice to hallucinate to, as long as they are friends and family and none of that there's children on my bed stuff that sometimes happens in nursing homes. I agree, but I always say it like one of my favorite jokes. When I die I want to go like my grandpa. Peacefully in my sleep. Not screaming like the passengers in his car. I would like to spontaneously combust whilst telling ghost stories to a bunch of people around a campfire in a spooky forest. Preferably when I get to the climax of the story. There will be children present. If I'm going out I want to traumatize a few people along the way. Imagine everyone just starts clapping hand after you combust. That was a great magic trick. Okay, you can come out of hiding now. Peacefully in my sleep like my grandfather. Not yelling and screaming like the passengers in his car. Car crashes are very underestimated, father. They aren't as simple as dying on impact all the time. Yes, I know, I've been in several. And for the record, that's actually how my grandfather died, but my grandmother was fine. Before anyone has a cry. Sleep. Yes. Just wake up dead. How the hell you wake up dead? Stolen from my wife. You know that moment when you are just about to fall asleep and you do that little kick. And it wakes you up for a brief moment, and in that moment you get to revel briefly in the joy of knowing that you are about to fall asleep. That's going to be your last thought, and that's a pretty wonderful last thought, all things considered. No, my hypergogic jerks give me a panicked stab of adrenaline through my system. It's horrible. I have PTSD, though, so it's good to know that simply falling asleep has apparently been fucked up by my trauma too.